can't forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget.
So from today, the 7th of January, moving forward, and also from the 9th of January, that's Sunday, 4 a.m. and 4 a.m. today, the 7th of January, there are new rules being put out with regards to you coming into England. Should you have traveled out of England to your own country, or you're coming, to visit, or you're newly coming in to work, then you should know these things. That way you don't get bounced, and that way you don't do things you should not be doing, and you don't have problems at the port of entry or whilst you're in here, because if you violate any government rules, you will be sent back home. So stay with me till the end of this video, and we will talk about what you need to know if you're fully vaccinated, not fully vaccinated, and even if you're fully vaccinated or not, what you still need to know. There are still common factors. If this is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Thanks. Hiya guys, my name is Olubukola Akimolayo Ogundele. I'm a registered nurse. I live and work in the UK, England to be precise. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm so glad to have you here. This is my night shift face, and I've just woke up and I thought, okay, I need to keep my channel up and running. I need to tell my people what is going on at the moment. That way we all stay informed, and that way you do not forget about my channel or my content or myself. Anyway, so back to the matter. Are you new to my channel? This is the first time you will be coming into this channel. Thank you so much for clicking on. So like I've told you my name already, I do lifestyle, I do business, I do normal nursing videos, I give you entertaining videos, I just cover bits and bobs, DIY sometimes if I can, and that's just all this channel is all about. Please, if this is of interest to you and you don't mind my face, please subscribe to my channel and like my videos if you don't mind. It helps my YouTube algorithm, and also share my videos. Feel free to do so. Right, back to the matter. Today we will be talking about the new rules that have just been ruled out as announced on Wednesday, the 5th of January 2022 by Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of England. So you need to know these things, because as simple as they may sound, if you're not very careful, you might get bounced back to your country or sent to do or pay more. And to avoid these things, it's just better to stay informed. Firstly, how do you know that you're fully vaccinated? You are fully vaccinated if you've had your first and your second dose of, say, the Pfizer vaccine, or the Moderna or the Oxford one, or the other ones that I will be putting their list on the screen as as we're speaking at the moment. And there is a particular one called the Janssen vaccine, and with that one you do not need to be vaccinated twice. Just one single vaccine covers it's like a 2-in-1 dose, if you get what I mean. So that's what that one is about. So if you're having the Janssen vaccine, then you're good if you just take one of it. But if you're having the other types, you've got to take 2 of them. So the moment you've had 2 of them, you are considered fully vaccinated, and every country of the world is expected to give their citizen a vaccination certificate. So this certificate shows that indeed you've had your first and your second dose. Before you can be considered fully vaccinated, though, you ought to have had your vaccine, that's the second dose, 14 days before it's time for you to come into England. So the way today is the 7th, you don't count today, you start from tomorrow, then you count 14 days from tomorrow. Whatever that leads you to, by that date, you should have been vaccinated before you can come in. So you're allowed to come in from, so let's be practical. So the way today is the 7th, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So from the 21st of January, you can come into the UK and consider yourself or count yourself as being fully vaccinated. Remember, you do not count the day you had your second dose whilst counting your 14 days. So that's how it works. That's how to know that you're fully vaccinated. So with regards to booster, because boosters are not readily available in all countries of the world at the moment, so you do not have to necessarily have had your booster dose, but at least you've had them too if you're having to vaccines like we've mentioned earlier, the ones that you can have 2 for, or maybe 1 for, which counts as a 2-in-1. So having said that, then we will then roll into what you need to know if you're fully vaccinated and you're coming into England. First thing to know is you do not need to do like a pre-departure test. You know how before now, if you're coming from Nigeria, or you're coming from the Philippines or India or wherever you're coming from, Ghana, you have to do like a pre-COVID or pre-departure COVID test. And that one in some countries, I'm aware, cost about $450. if not more. I mean, you probably know what it costs in your own country more than I do, but it costs a fortune in some countries. So that one has been scrapped if you're fully vaccinated. So that's the first point. You do not do you do not do a pre-departure COVID test. And this new rule was ruled out today, 7th of January at 4 a.m. Right. Another point to note, which is point number 2, if fully vaccinated, is you do not need to do the day 2 and day 8 COVID test that you are required to do, which cost about £79. That's the cheapest that I know that you can get that kit. So if you are buying the Eurofin one, if you need the link to the Eurofin one, should you need it, say you're not fully vaccinated, I will then leave it in the description box for you to buy if you like. So but you do not need it if you're fully vaccinated. So that's what the new rule says. But you can do a lateral flow test. So with the lateral flow test, the person you're coming to meet, you could ask them if they have a lateral flow test kit. You can get lateral flow test kits free from your hospital, from the pharmacies, around, from the chemists around. So it's a bit short at the moment, but that's all you need at the moment. So if it's negative, you go about your business. But if it's positive, you will then need to do a PCR, and you will then need to isolate for 10 days should it be positive though. Third point is, from 4 a.m. on the 9th of January, which is on Sunday, you do not have to self-isolate when you touch base. So when you come in, you're fully vaccinated, just go about your business, except you feel unwell or you feel symptomatic, or your lateral flow test, of course, comes back positive. That's when you then require to do a PCR. Right, so next point is for those that are unvaccinated. So are you unvaccinated? Say you haven't had your 2 doses, or you had the second dose and it's not up to 14 days and you're having to come into the UK. You are still counted as unvaccinated, because it is believed that the second dose hasn't kicked in. You need 2 weeks at least for it to kick in. So for that reason, you might be classed or categorized and not fully vaccinated. So the implication, number 1, is you will need to do your pre-departure COVID test like you normally would. I mean, it's a bit pricey, I wish you could avoid it, but if you can't, then you will then need to do that test. And then the second point is you need somebody to buy your day 2 day 8 COVID test kit for you before you arrive, or you buy it if you can, if you've got a means to buy it, and then you get home to where you're going to and meet it there. That way you can do it. And in counting, the day that you arrive is day 0, then 2 days after is day 2. You've got to do your day 2 PCR and take it to the post office, do what you have to do, follow the instruction in the box. If you want me to do a further video on that one, please let me know. And then count day 8, like 6 days following day 2, that's day 8. Then that's when you do your day 8 one, and then you follow the instruction in the box as well and register it online. So that's it with regards if you're not fully vaccinated. And also, you will isolate for 10 days if you're not fully vaccinated. I mean, there are people who, for whatever reason, still haven't got their jabs. It just means you have to go through all of these. So you will be wondering, your child who is below 18, they are exempted. You've got a medical issue that exempts you officially from being vaccinated. You are exempted. You will fall under the category of vaccinated, because you've got a medical condition that doesn't allow you, or that just doesn't support you taking the vaccines, or you are below 18. I've said that already. So apart from that, you will be categorized as unvaccinated if you haven't indeed been vaccinated. However, there is a common denominator that applies to both of them. So irrespective whether you're vaccinated or you're not vaccinated, you will still need to fill out your passenger locator form before that 48 hours before you get into the UK. So say if you booked your flight, say your flight leaves your country today the 7th, but then touches base, or you get out of the plane tomorrow the 8th, as an example, if it's not a direct flight. I'm just using like a complicated example case here. Then tomorrow is when you're touching base. You've got to fill your passenger locator form 2 days before. So that would be 6th. So that's 48 hours before you touch base. So that's what it means. But if you come in on a direct flight, say you left your country today and it touches base today, then you have to fill your passenger locator form 2 days before today, which will be the 5th of January. So that's the summary of the very, very new rules that you need to know. Right, so I'll just add to it at this point that also the people that may be considered as exempted are those that are undergoing or that have submitted themselves to undergo the trial, the vaccination trial, or the vaccine trials. So they're also exempted from the all I'm vaccinated, I'm not vaccinated category or group, apart from the ones I've mentioned earlier. So another question people ask is, okay, I'm only coming to the UK quickly for 2 days. So obviously you will book the day 2 COVID test kit, if you get what I mean. Did I explain that well? So you're only coming into the UK for 2 days. So you will buy, and you're not fully vaccinated. So you will buy only the day 2 COVID PCR kits, and that way you only test for the day 2 only. So if it's positive, ideally you should isolate. So it might mean that you would stay longer. But then if you're positive, I would probably ring Home Office or ring somebody to say, okay, or the COVID line to say, okay, I'm positive, or 111. You could just ring 111 to say, okay, I've only come here sharp for 2 days, but my day 2 COVID PCR came back positive. And what do I do? Ideally, if you ask me, like from the very logical or common sense point of view, if you're only here for 2 days and then you did your PCR and then you submitted it, before the result comes back, you're probably back to your country anyway. So if there's a way for you to know that your result is back, you can then isolate in your country. I could be wrong, but this is how I can think of it commonsensically. But if you're here for 10 days or say less than 10 days, you are by rule or by law or by policy expected to buy the day 2 and the day 8 kit, PCR kit, if not fully vaccinated. I mean, I'm just explaining this for people that are coming in sharp, like 10 days quick holiday or 10 days quick business trip or something. So if you do your day 2, remember day 0 is the day you land. So if you land today, today's day 0, you will do your day 2 on the 9th. So if your day 2 one that you did on the 9th is positive, then you don't have to necessarily do the day 8 one. So you begin your 10 days isolation. So the day you test positive is your day 0. So if you tested positive on the 9th of January when you did your day 2 PCR, say the report came out the next day, for instance, and you've been advised to isolate, and you're wondering, how do I begin to count the 10 days? So the 10 days will start from the next day, which is January the 10th. So that January the 10th will be day 1, counting your 10 days. So it then means that your 10 days would finish, if I'm right, on the 20th, if I've gotten the information or the explanation right. So that's how it works. That's a simple way to do it. And remember, you don't need to do it day 8 if you just tested positive to it day 2. So but in a situation whereby your day 2 was negative, but you've been up and about, you've been doing your own business, and then day 8 then came back positive, so you then have to isolate for 10 days. Remember, if you've got to go to your country, you probably need to get an advice from NHS 111. Like my purpose, or the purpose of my visit was just for a quickie 10 days, and I did my PCR say on the 8th, for day 8th, which was probably so date, and then report came back today that I'm leaving, or yesterday, a day before I was supposed to leave, and then it's come back positive. What do I do? Because my bags are packed to go. So you ask those questions, and that's how it pretty much works. So I suppose I've covered everything you need to know. So remember, if you're from abroad, you're coming to school here, you're coming to work here freshly, you're coming to visit your family or friends, you are expected to bring in your vaccination certificate. Do not forget your vaccination certificate. But if you're living abroad here in the UK, we all have the NHS COVID pass. So if you log into NHS online, if you download the NHS app, you put your NHS number or your date of birth or your address, they will locate you somehow. So log in somehow. If you don't know your NHS number, you could ring your GP practice for it, or you could ring NHS 111 for it. It's not urgent, so you probably shouldn't delay or stay on the line for something like that. So you probably just ring NHS 111 or find documents in your bag somewhere that that would help you with your NHS number. So if you put it in, it logs you in, it remembers all your certificates, all the PCRs and the lateral flow test you've done, in as much as you've registered the lateral flow test. It remembers everything by default, so everything stays on your data or database. So, and then you will then go to an option, I think, that says NHS COVID pass, if I'm right. So there is one that says that you can print for just normal viewing to give to people to say I'm fully vaccinated or not. And there is another one for the purpose of travel. So it says travel, that's the next one, for the purpose of travel. That's the one you print out should you want to travel to another country and they need your COVID pass. So you know how other countries have their vaccination certificate. So what we take along is our travel copy. So that's what passes as our certificate, if you get what I mean. So that's how it works. That's the summary I can think about. I will leave a link in the description box for you to read more. I don't want this video to be too long. I'm just checking the time. I don't want it to be too long. Also, I don't want to miss out any points, so I will leave a link in the description box that may further, explain things to you. But these are the new rules. Remember them, pass them around, share this video, let someone know. They could get bounced out of the country. Remember, that's their money for ticket wasted. That's everything wasted. So try to help somebody. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please stay glued. I've got some video requests from my lovely subscribers, my lovely viewers. I will be rolling them out as the days go by. I'm on night shift this week, but I'll see what I can do. I'll wake up in between my sleep and do videos for you. Thank you so much again. Are you new to my channel? Please remember to subscribe. I will leave the subscribe link in the description box. If you're not signed into Google might ask you to sign in in order to subscribe. It's very easy. It only takes 30 seconds and it's entirely free to do so. Thank you once again for watching. Till we see you again, take care of yourself. Bye.